All right, so you've learned some characteristics of infographics. You've learned that they have a headline, that they're organized with shapes and colors, that there's text about the topic inside the shapes, and then they use images and icons to help reinforce the ideas of the infographic. Your job is to make an infographic, and to do that, you're going to need some information, because information goes in an infographic. So what's your infographic going to be about? You are going to create an infographic about technology. Now you might be going, Mrs. Taylor, that's a very broad topic, and you're right. You need to make an infographic about the way technology has changed from before you were born, around the time you were born, and after you were born. So you can pick literally anything about technology. You could pick how video games have changed. You can pick how watching movies has changed. You can pick how phones have changed. You could pick how appliances have changed. Like, what was a refrigerator like before you were born, around the time you were born, and after you were born? So for me, for my example, I picked televisions. All right. I am in my 40s. I was born in the late 1970s, and so I want to find out, what were televisions like before I was born, what were they like in the 1970s, and what were they like after that? All right, so I have to do a little bit of research. So I opened up a Google site and I typed in what was television like through history. You can ask a different question, you can put in different keywords, put the keywords in that are going to get the information you want. In Canvas, you're going to see a document that looks a little bit like this. It's going to have you type in the type of technology you're researching, and then it has what was it like before, what was it like around the time you were born, and what was it like after. So you're going to search for those three questions. So I found this really awesome website. It's called Insider, and it talks about what television was like before I was born and after I was born. So I started out looking at this model. This HMV television had images and it had a radio, and you would combine the images with the radio. So I thought that was cool. That was from the 1930s. And then I added this one to my infographic as well. In the 1960s, they started using remote controls. I can't even imagine watching TV without a remote control now, but that didn't happen until the 1960s, which was before I was born. So I put on my research document, before I was born, in the 1930s, the HMV set combined images and sound from a radio. Do you see how I didn't just copy the information from the website? I didn't just highlight it and copy it. Maybe you did that in elementary school, and maybe it was okay in elementary school, but as you get older, it's going to be important to read the information and then to put it in your own words. You don't want to copy. That's called plagiarism. All right, so I have 1930s, and then I see a mistake I've made. In the 1960s, TV started having remote controls. All right, I also put the website address. So if I have to go back and remember or find some more information, I have the information at hand. Now let's look at what was TV like around the time I was born in the 1970s. All right, so we're going to scroll down. Okay, here we go, 70s. Even though color television was popular, price drops on the black and white TVs, like the Marconiphone monochrome receiver, meant that households could afford more than one TV set in the 70s. To be honest, I actually remember that being what it was like when I was young. We had one big TV set in the family room that was in color, but my parents had a smaller one in their bedroom that was black and white, and we could have more than one because the black and white set was cheaper. So I'm going to put that information in my research document. Now, I'm not going to copy and paste it. I'm going to put it in my own words. In the 1970s, people had color TVs, but black and white ones were popular because they were inexpensive. All right, so there's my information. I've got to put my website address. Let me show you how to do that. Here's the website where I found it. I'm going to go up to the address bar, click on it. The whole thing highlights. I'm going to do Control C to copy it. Come back over here, click, and Control V to paste. There we go. Now if I have to go back, I can go back. All right, now let me show you the infographic I've started. Here's the infographic I have started. So I have the 1930s set, and it said the HMV combined radio and TV in the 1930s. I've got the 1960s with the remote control. Do you see how both of these rectangle shapes are red? I think I'm going to have the things before I was born in red. The one that was around the time I was born, I think I'm going to change the color to blue. And then after I was born, I'll pick a different color. I don't know, maybe green or yellow or something. All right, so I need to add a shape. Here's my shape tool. And I'm going to make a rectangle. And it defaults to this gray color. So when I click my shape, I go over to this paint bucket and I'm going to fill it with blue. All right, and I'm going to copy some of this text so it's the same. All right, in the 1970s, black and white TVs were popular and inexpensive. All right, maybe I'm going to make it just a little bit wider so everything fits. Yep. There we go. And I'm going to move this text to the top. Boop. All right, now I need to add another image of a TV. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can do your image tool, and you can search the web for a black and white TV. And there's lots of options. So I can click and insert an option, and there's my TV. And I can make it smaller so it fits right there. Now, another way I could do it is if I see a TV that I really want, like I want this one, I can click the image on the website, drag it up to my tab for my infographic, and it switches. I can drag it down and drop it. Now, it's going to make it big and off to the side, so I would have to resize it to add it to my infographic. All right, so far so good. I've got my colors helping me to organize. I've got images. I need a headline, so I'm going to do insert, and I could do a text box, or I could do word art. I actually kind of like word art. I'm going to do TVs through history. Now, there's a headline. I need to put it in a different place, but TVs through history, that looks good. I can change the font by just coming up here and choosing a nice big font. Let's do this nice, yeah, that looks good. And I can use my paint bucket tool to make it, I don't know, let's make it bright red. And my line tool, I can put a nice blue line around it, and I can make my line kind of fat if I wanted to. And there we go. I can make it tall and skinny, and maybe not as fat of a line. So those are some options. Those are ways that you can change up your headline. Of course, I might need to resize it and put it in a different place, make it work better. I got some more editing I need to do, but that's the idea. I'm going to add the information in my infographic and keep working on it, keep researching, keep adding the infographic. And when I'm done, I can add it to Canvas so I can see it and get a good grade and ultimately get my badge. Have a good day.